Come here, buddy. Come. Come here. Sit with Mama. Eddie, come here. No drinking. Come here. I guess not. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It's Ann at Martin House Flowers. Let's see if I can not squint. In today's video, I am going to unbox my tulip order. I have quite a large order from Color Blends. It's a wholesale online bulb company that I heard about through YouTube from other gardeners. And I also have a small order this year from Longfield Gardens. And I typically ordered a lot of bulbs from Longfield, but this year I decided to try Color Blends because of all the recommendations and of course the bulk pricing. So thanks for joining me today. Eddie and I were just out for our morning walk. It's nice and shaded on the patio. And he wanted to be out here with us because Greg, as you can see, is also working in the greenhouse today. He's working on the electrical, and I'm excited about that because soon it will be fall in terms of cool weather that I will need to be in the greenhouse. I don't think I'll be starting any seeds yet this time of year because I'm in Northern Illinois Zone 5B, and my cool flowers I tend to start in the spring, but I'll have a look. I have a lot of new seeds that I could possibly start. So this is the Color Blends crate that comes. When you open it up, they have this piece of just newsprint on top and this card. It talks about the Amsterdam Tulip Museum. Wow. Only 1 minute from the Anne Frank house. Gosh, that would be wonderful for a bucket list. Season your spring, plant Color Blends this fall. Thank you for your order. It's just a little info postcard. And also you get your packing slip, which I ordered 1, 2, 3. Oh my goodness, I ordered 500 tulips. Yes, I did. Color Blends has a calculator on their website that shows how many bulbs per square foot to plant. And I think I might have done that. And we'll see what it happens. I thought I only got 300. I think last year I got 300 from Longfield, and I planted them along my west garden where I've talked a lot about with my hydrangeas and my zinnias right now. And underneath the zinnias are my tulips from Longfield. And a lot of them are Darwin varieties. So there's the cost, and there's a shipping cost. So it's not bad. You know, 300 roughly. $28 is the shipping, which is understandable. But the bulk pricing is what got me. For 100 bulbs, typically each bulb is anywhere from 50 cents to 60 cents. So that's a really good price because, as we all know, a lot of tulips range around, including daffodils, range around $1 a piece. So even with the shipping costs, I amortized that $28 cost. It still came out to be a very good price. More than anything, I really loved the variety. I picked up Hacoon White bulbs, 100 of those, Big Eartha, shades of pink and rose, Big Apricot, Gentle Giants, which are pink, peach, and apricot mixed, and Pink Margarita, which are pink and yellow. I'm not going to, go through each bulb. They all look very similar, but basically each variety is bagged. And I do want to do one variety at a time in each bed, maybe do half a bed with Big Apricot, another half with the Gentle Giants, which are pink, peach, and apricot. And it tells you the height. Gentle Giants are 24 to 26 inches tall. They are a mid-spring bloomer. Plant 3 to 4 inches apart, which of course I won't really pay attention to, and 6 inches deep. So the big apricot are the same height, 24 to 26 inches high, same distance. So I kind of like those together. And then pink margarita is a mix of pink and yellow, and they are 20 to 26 inches tall, same distance apart. So those are pink and yellow. Big Eartha, also a mid bloomer. Let's just see, are these, they're all mid bloomers. So these are just pink, the big Eartha. So maybe I'll do pink with the pink and yellow mix. I like that together. And so I have 5 varieties, and the 5th one is the Hakoon White. I love the idea of having pure white. So I think I will, these are 22 to 24 inches high, a tad shorter, but I might do half a bed of those. We'll see how far 100 tulips fills in a 4x8 bed. I also got this free gift, a Color Blends magnet bottle opener. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, that's a nice little touch. That's handy. If you've ever seen a refrigerator, it's full of magnets. So relative to my Color Blends large order of 500 bulbs, Longfield only got a small order from me so far. And let's see, I got Tulips Single Late Queen of Night. These are the dark burgundy, dark purple, more or less, tulips that stand 24 inches tall, and they are sun to part shade. They bloom in late spring. I'm thinking I might mix them with the white. I think that's what I was thinking, but I only have a few here. Let's see how many are in here. About 25. I might just put those in the front bed somewhere, or in a container. And then I have some more small blue 8-inch tall muscari, which are grape hyacinths. And I think these are a little bigger than the ones I planted all along the front bed and my rose bed, my south garden. I think I planned these for containers because I always like to put them around the containers and the perimeter. And then I got some, I think these are white, yes, white paper whites, which are for my indoor pots that I like to force indoors around the holidays. So it looks like when I purchased this small order from Longfield back in August, I ordered those on my dad's birthday, August 27th. So yeah, I got those for containers. Longfield always includes some instructions with links to very specific instructions about spring bulbs, fall planted bulbs, and indoor bulbs, and how to care for them, what to do when your order arrives, check the contents, make sure that the bulbs are solid and firm, and all of that. So I shared in yesterday's video, or today's video I released, that I still have these 2 beds that have a bunch of filler flowers. You'll see the straw flowers there still growing. I don't want to pull them out yet, but I did pull out the amaranth. You'll notice the red amaranth is missing. There's some on the ground there. And then I have all of this anise hyssop that I did cut back significantly, and they will be a perennial for me. So I do want to clear up as much as possible in here so I can potentially plant some bulbs. And over there are also some forget-me-nots, some Dusty Miller, some Status, and I know I have some perennial poppies. So at least half that bed on the left side can be pulled out. I can still use that Dusty Miller, but honestly, my arrangement days are pretty much over. I did that little arrangement of zinnias over there, and they were definitely looking tired. I wouldn't be able to sell them. They're just good for my personal arrangements. But this is the bed that we emptied together of zinnias, and I'm going to work on this today. I have 4 or 5 bags of compost. I'm going to go ahead and rake this. Let's see if I can work with that fencing or that guard around there that's intended to keep rabbits away. So I'd really like to leave it in if I can to help keep rodents from going in over the winter and spring. So let's see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and rake that now and then create some rows and drop in my bulbs and see how much we actually hold based on not the 6-inch spacing that they recommend, but the spacing that I want to do for production purposes. So I've got my wagon filled with 5 bags of compost that I use regularly. I just buy the composted manure bags at my local hardware store at Menards. My stepdaughter for my birthday actually gave me a gift card from Menards, which was really great because I don't really need much these days other than supplies for the garden. So I used up her gift card buying bags of mulch as well as compost. So that was a perfect gift that helped our wallet out, because this is that time of year where we are still doing a ton of maintenance in the garden. I'm not planting much in the way of plants or shrubs, she says, but I am planting bulbs. So speaking of fall bulbs and the time to plant them in your garden, for me, we do have in northern Illinois, we obviously have winters, cool periods that bulbs need to go through. There's a cooling period that if you're in the south or in the west where it's really warm like California, people tend to buy pre-chilled bulbs. Here our winters are obviously cool enough that our months between November till April, May is enough of a cooling period. And the best time to plant your bulbs is when the ground is below 60 degrees, and also the nighttime temperatures are between 40 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So I looked at the 10-day forecast. That's definitely the case for us. Last night it went down to the low 40s, and I looked out for 10 days, and the daytime temperatures are anywhere from 60 to low 70s, and then nighttime temperatures 40 to 50. So it's perfect timing to plant bulbs. So I think what I'm going to do, seems a little bit higher over here. Just trying to even out a little bit. So I chose this bed because zinnias tend to you can't plant zinnias until the your first frost has passed. So for me, I don't plant my zinnias in the ground, my seedlings, which I start all my zinnias indoors under grow lights, because that just eliminates any chance of powdery mildew. I've found a lot of people direct sow them, but either way, my beds here, my zinnia beds, sit empty until at least early May, which is around the time that for me, the full sun over here, my tulips are pretty much done by mid-May. So I will definitely be planting my zinnias after my tulips are done. So it's really an experiment. I'm hoping that in early spring, when everyone's dying for some color and some fresh flowers, that I'll be able to sell some of my tulips. You know, see the full sun here? They could end up blooming on the first sunny day, all in one shot, all 600 tulips. So my goal, cross our fingers, is that I can find a used refrigerator that I can then pick my tulips. And the ideal time, there's a ladybug right here. The ideal time to pick your tulips, if you're wanting to refrigerate them and have them last longer and have a longer vase life, is when they just start to crack open and you see the color of the tulip. And because once they, you know, they open, they will fully open with the sunlight, and then they're pretty much, you know, kind of done, and it's hard to sell really open tulips. You want a couple things open so people can see the color, but really the time to pick them is when there's just a crack of color. I've grown tulips for years, but obviously never really sold them. I just wanted to give it a shot this year. But if I don't end up selling them, I did order a lot of perennial tulips, like Darwin tulips, so that if in fact I don't pull the bulb out completely when I cut them, then there'll be a really good chance of them perennializing. I think I mentioned previously that every spring I add at least 4 to 5 bags of compost to get my seedlings started for the season, and I don't fertilize at all. So it's amazing how much just gets, you know, naturalized. The soil just gets, it just settles basically. And we did also add garden soil and topsoil, I think, this past spring. Whenever I see, you know, bags of garden soil or topsoil go on special, I do buy that and combine it with my bags of compost. Whenever I have empty pots that's why I'm seeing some roots in here, I do dump out those pots with potting mix at the corners most of the time, just to help kind of compost the soil. It's a gorgeous day. Hope it doesn't get too hot, because we have another concert tonight to go to. This time it's the community concert where all the professionals and retired musicians play, the Kishwaukee Orchestra. My neighbor plays in it too, and my stepdaughter was asked to play in it a couple times last year, so it's kind of exciting. Last year was the university orchestra that played. So tonight it's sort of a step up. Look at that. How did that get in here? Okay, let's start making rows. The nice thing about my beds being wide open now is that I can see if there's any visitors in the beds. The other day when I was harvesting my tomatoes, I had already harvested a bucket of flowers, and the flowers were sitting right at the edge where my tripod is, right at the edge of the kitchen garden. And my full bucket of flowers with water all of a sudden I'm at the end and I hear this clunk, and my bucket was knocked over, all the water spilled over, flowers on the ground, on the gravel, and I saw just the tail of the cottontail rabbit, who had clearly jumped out of the kitchen garden, which is, I think, that's almost 3 feet tall, about 2.5 feet tall, and where we've found rabbits. A rabbit has, hid several of her baby rabbits. So I'm certain that there's been a rabbit in there recently, and decided to jump out when she heard me harvesting tomatoes and peppers, and jumped out and knocked over the flowers, unless she blindly came running through the garden and just knocked over my my flower bucket. I doubt that she wouldn't have seen it, even though it's black. So this is the last of the compost. So it was finally time to start putting in the bulbs. I laid them down maybe 1 inch or 2 inches apart, and I tried to go in as deep as possible using my Japanese knife, and tried to do about half a row sitting on one side of the bed and then crossing over to the other side, to the other half. So here I am just digging up the trench. In case you didn't know, we always plant bulbs with the flat side down and the pointed side facing upward. Another bed emptied right beside the bed of tulips that once held zinnias. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Hope this inspires you to plant some bulbs in your garden this fall, and we can all enjoy our spring blooms next spring. So thank you so much for being here today, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.